Good morning, everyone. How are you today? Give my computer just a second to catch up. And we will get started today on Enameled Effects product from Stampin' Up. Come on, computer. Hope your day is going well. Hope your week was well. This is my glass mat that you're looking at, which I am finding I'm using more and more, which is a good thing. All right, where are we? There we are. Okay, so here we go. I'm just kind of cleaning it off. I love this that came with it. Kind of feels like shark skin to me, although I've never felt shark skin, but what I think shark skin would feel like. And this really gets the stuff off, but you got to remember to dry it when you're done. And it's great for your stamps because it gets in to like all the little crevices and stuff. And hopefully this is close enough. Hopefully y'all can hear me today, as I do tend to speak lower, but I did lower the camera, so hopefully that will help. As always, don't know if you can see this, looks like not. Thank you for stamping with me, or shopping with me. And you can stop at shop at JackieBloom.stampinup.net. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you would like, subscribe and share this video, I'd appreciate it. So today, these are the pearlized enamel effects. And I don't know if you can see, but this one looks really pink, although it dries more red. So there is a black, a white, and a red, and it says it's red. And these are the pearl ones. If you like this item, it's 156310. And then there is a metallic version of the enamel effects. That number is 161610. And this one has the silver, the gold, and the copper. So they are a pearl and a metallic, a little bit different. And you might think, okay, what am I going to do with those? Well, the normal thing to do, and I don't know if this is completely dry yet, would be to make your little dots. And let me show you a card, which I should have grabbed. Sorry, I did not grab it. Got everything now. Terribly, terribly sorry. All right, so this is the metallic silver, gold, copper. This is the pearlized red, white, and black. And I want to just show you that this is, I'm just waiting to see if the camera catches up. Good. Let me make this a little bit bigger so I can see what I'm doing. No, not that. This one. There we go. All right. So you can see that the little dots are definitely redder than what it looks like in the bottle. I don't know if that's because of the pearlized effect or what, but this is what you get when it dries. And you will notice that it gives you a little, and I kind of speeded these up a little bit so you can hopefully see that this is not quite as round as they would have been had you let them dry naturally, okay? So, but it is nice to know that you can get more of a, this one almost has like a rock feel to it, if you will. Let's see if you can see. I'm trying to see if you can see. It's more of a rock kind of look. Okay, so just try it out. It's just a little bit of stuff. So there's that one. And I also have, I'm going to take it out of the sleeve I had it in. This one card that I did. This is one of my open house cards. And you can see that it's just got, make sure I'm on camera. And you can see those two up there, and then there's three more over here. Okay, So there's an idea. See if I have any more ideas. Floating around in my little basket of stuff. Yes. Oh, okay. Gonna be one of those days, people. I drop everything on the floor. Hold on, I don't want to roll over it with my chair. You ever have those days where you feel like you're just a hot mess? Yeah, seems to be my day today. All right, so this one has the little white pearl ones. And again, I let these ones dry so they're more rounded. So if you let it dry by itself, it's more rounded. If you're not going to let it dry in time, then take a little more time with how you squeeze it out and end up, okay? Or let it dry halfway. They don't take too terribly long, depending on how thick it is, okay? Let's see if I have any more. Just while I'm here to show you some more examples. Nope, I do not. Okay, so that's it for now. Also, there's one on here. Nope, nothing on there. Okay. So, I will show you. Let's see. A piece of scratch paper. This one's probably the darkest other than black. Let's do it with the black. And this is the black pearlized. And I just squeeze it out to what I want and lift it up. And if you stop squeezing before you lift up, you get a less of a little nubbin, if you will, on the top of that. You can see there's just a tiny bit of a, starting to look like a chocolate chip. Okay, where's the camera? All right, it's there. There we go. So I'm going to turn it a little bit so you can see. Hopefully. Nope. Go back this way. I'm really doing bad at the camera thing, aren't I? There we go. Okay. So that's all you have to do. I'm going to set that one way aside. And let's move on to what else you can do. All right. So the first thing I did was I stamped these two and the apples from More Than Autumn set. If you want this number, it's, excuse me, 164228. So I stamped them, did the apples. I colored the little green of the apple with light granny apple green. And then I wanted to show you on this one, I also have the cherry cobbler, light and dark. And I do the light, just kind of swipe it. So there's my, where the light's coming out from. And then I just take the dark and meet up to it. So then I have a little light and a little dark. Let me see. Let's see if you can see that. Hopefully you can see that. It's just a subtle little shade. It looks better in person. Everything looks better in person. Okay? All right, so we've got that on there, and what are we going to do? I am going to take this red again, and a little palette knife, whatever you have will work. And I'm going to show you a little trick. So, less is more. All my girls out there that like to put a lot on, watch how little I put on. All right, so I'm just going to put a little squeeze on there, all right? And then I'm going to take it and run it sideways along here. There's still a bunch on there. So I'm going to come back and make sure your palette knife is flat when you're doing this. Add a little bit more. Adding more is better than having nowhere to put it when you're done, because you can't get it back in that bottle. Well, maybe if you pry this lid off, but I don't know if it does pry off, so I'm not going to chance it. All right, so we are just adding a little bit of color there. And I don't mind the little splatters and stuff. I think it adds a little more. I'm going to add just a little bit more. And I'm going to take it and make it thicker. And again, I'm going really light because, you know, you don't want to waste it. And I'm just making my apple pieces a little thicker, okay? And then have a wet paper towel to wipe that off immediately. And don't forget about these little edges and the tip, okay? So that's just my wet paper towel. And put your lid on when you're done so it doesn't dry out your bottle. And this is what we come up with. Wait here and see. Okay. And I've already got one done. So again, I'm going to set that way over there so I hopefully don't touch it. And I made a card. I still have that same effect. And be careful because if you touch it when it's wet, I set this one aside, didn't set it far enough, stuck my finger in it, so there's a little imprint of my finger. I did some apples. I just pulled out some paper. This is the 6x6 full of life paper, 163-357, with all those pretty colors and stuff. And there just happened to be this piece in there. I just trimmed off a little bit. I stamped the apples. Now, here's a little tip. I showed you how I did the apples already. So I don't need to show you that. But I will leave these out. Okay. So, don't do what I did. Oops, look at that. Remember that they will bleed through the blend markers. So, a way to compensate for that is just to put a 1 by 5.5 on each side of this paper here. And then you would have a clean surface. I'm going to have to go back and just put another layer in there to cover that up. Okay? So here's my card. This is just a piece of cherry cobbler and the Granny Apple Green. I'm trying to learn my colors. And they're just squares. This is a 3 by 3. I believe these are 2.5 by 2.5, and I just stuck those down. And then I layered up about 3 of the bunches of apples and layered those right there. And I don't know, I didn't think it needed much in the way of sparkles or anything. It's got a pretty good amount going on there. So that's that. The next thing I wanted to show you is we're going to use a little bit of, let's see, I already used gold, so let's use black. So I have a sample that has gold, and I'm going to use the black. So the black is the pearl, the gold is the metallic. And this is from, got it right here. Got all these things over here. Okay, it is this one, and I left this one going the other way so that way you could see which one I used. Now, there's a little mark right here. I don't know if you can see it. I put a little pen mark. Everything from here down will fit on a standard size card. Everything from here up doesn't. So this is great for scrapbooking as well because you've got some nice circles. Now, not to say that you couldn't put part of it on or half of it on, but you're gonna be having, you know, it's gonna be a little bigger. Okay, so this is the one I used, and it is about a almost 3 by 3. Yes, I would probably call this a 3 by 3. If you like this one, it is 162-286, and it is the deckled circles. Okay, so we're going to take the deckled circles, and I didn't want to use a good brush, so I just pulled out one I had. You could probably use a sponge dauber. I can't find my sponge daubers. I think they're all too old. And then the blending brush, because it's such a bigger tip, I think that the sponge dauber would work best. And so for this one, what we're going to do is we're going to put a little dot. I'll try and hold this up so you can see. Put a little bit right there, okay? And then I'm going to get that out of the way. I'm going to take my brush and I'm just going to smudge the edges. Now you could put it on your brush, but I feel like putting it on here kind of gives me a little more control. There again, less is more. You can always add more. You can't take it away. You can't put it back in the bottle, right? So we're just going to go around. And you could probably do more layers if you wanted. Yeah, this does say black. It's not reading black. What's it reading to you guys? I think I need probably a little bit more layers. And you just put it on your edges. And you can see that there's a lot in the brush. So every once in a while, just kind of get out what's in your brush. And again, I would wash this out right away. So that way your brush doesn't turn really hard on you, right? It's going to get stiff from all that color. So it's pretty easy, kind of like painting, but just a little bit more. Sorry, I know it's like watching paint dry, but it's just that easy to get it on the edge of there. And again, I don't want to waste it, so I'm going to get as much as I can off of the brush. And then you want to remember to wash out your brush right away. So I'm just going to go over here to my towel and wipe it out really good. And then hopefully that'll keep it wet enough. Actually, let me spray it. I'm going to spray it with water just so it's nice and wet until I have time to go and wash it. So this one, if I can pick it up, doesn't look all that, I don't know. I don't know if I like this one. It would be good. I would use it more for a gray tone than a black. Although when you do a puddle of it, it does look darker. I still think it's more of a gray than a black. And I think, again, that is because they started out with black, but then they add the pearl. And so that lightens it up a little bit. It's almost like adding white to it, okay? So, this is the sample that I made with the gold. And you can see that these dots are straight from the bottle. So they're a little darker than what this is. And that is just really pretty, okay? And this is something that I made at my first unit meeting. And it is very clever from my upline Naomi. It's got a little pocket here. And it opens up and it's got a little pocket here. And this image on the front just holds it flat. Okay? All right. So what are we going to do next? Next, I took and did a couple of emboss pieces with this nice big huge embossing folder. It is Forever Plaid and it's a 3D one, so it really gives you nice depth. And it is 16049. Okay, what are we going to do with it? Let's start with this one. So the first thing I did, and I'll show you some that are dry in just a minute, is I went and I decided, okay, what could I do with this? Well, you can take it and add a line across there. I'm resting it on one of these really thick 3D lines and just dragging it across, okay? And just be as consistent as you can. Now I'm going to go in these bigger spaces here. Make sure you can see that, these ones here. And I'm just going to add some dots. So I'm kind of thinking of this 4-block quadrant as my first area to work with. And I'm just going to put some dots. Oops. And you can go back and add a little bit more if you don't get enough. Okay. They almost look like chips to me. Kind of chips. You know, everything's food related. So then I'm going to go down to the next one and I want to change it up a little bit. So I'm going to put one here and 2 over here. And then down to the next 4 and maybe do 1 here and 2 here in there again. I'm just changing up the format of them, and you just continue down, so I'm not going to show you any more of that. Then what I did, let me see, I got to reference my notes. Then I went along another long line like this. Instead of leaving it like that, I took my palette knife again and I just pulled it down. And you could go back up depending on what look you want. And it just kind of added to the look of it. So obviously the dots are going to take longer because they're thicker. Then the line's going to take longer, and this would be less. But isn't that pretty? I thought that was kind of cool. So I'll show you what it looks like when it's all dry. I think it's dry. And the dots do look a little bit more circly than bumpy, although these are already, the little chocolate chip top is already kind of went down. And I just think that is a really pretty look. Again, I'm going to put that wet one over there. So that's kind of cool to do. Oh, and this one right here, you can see, and I don't know if I like this or not, but I put 4 dots and then I drug them out. But you can see that the dots started to dry, and so it kind of left a little bit of that circular dot, okay? Let me see. I just thought of something. I hope that everybody can see me. Angela, hi. Thanks for watching. Say hi if you're out there, although my phone doesn't give me a beep. All right, so on to the black one. So I also had a black one. And this time I did something a little bit different. Let's see. Let's take a different color. Let's take silver. And this time, I just went along that little dotted line and maybe started off somewhere else so you don't get that little, it kind of wants to poop out sometimes. I don't know if you should maybe shake it and get the bubbles out or what. Again, I'm just playing with these, so I'm new to these. All right, so I'm going to do the line thing again, but instead of bringing it straight down, I thought I'd see what happens if you just kind of drug it like this across. And it kind of almost mimics, let's see, what would be right side up? It kind of almost mimics like icicles hanging off of a roof where it's got the little pieces. They're not as bright as you know, the pieces hanging, the ice hanging. But I thought that was kind of different, right? And then what did I do? Again, I made a line. And again, I also just drug it straight down like so. So let's get rid of the wet one way over there and pull in a dry one. Now this one, I did the silver and the red and the gold. So again, you can see here, and I don't know that I like this one, but you know, maybe. See how you can see these little dots? So I just dotted all the way down and then just drug it this way. But I really don't like those dots showing. I like it much better when you draw a line like this and just bring your palette down like that. And then also this one was going this way. And it's a little bit different than the one I just did because it filled in quite a bit more. So these would be nice to just cut and add to the side of a card. So what do you think? So I'm going to put up my samples, and I'll probably make some bonus cards with this kind of an idea to show you. But what is your favorite? I'm going to pull out this one that I made today and this one. Or do you like just the let's see if you can see everything first. Do you just like the regular dots? Hold on, waiting for the camera to catch up. Okay. So which is your favorite, 1, 2, or 3? And which one do you want to try? The dots or the swipes of some kind? Let me know in the comments. And if you have any questions, get back to me. And again, if you'd like to shop with me, JackieBluhm.stampinup.net. And if you don't want to miss another video, then make sure you subscribe. Tell your friends, share, and like my page always helps. Hope you have a great weekend, everyone. See you next time. Bye.